Baldur's Gate 3 has one huge problem. I've been following the game, and it's been on my radar since they announced it way back in 2017, but also since the early access launch roughly 3 years ago. And dating a little bit before that, I have just been interested in the Baldur's Gate series ever since I was very young. I never got a chance to play them, but the game has me intrigued. Larian is doing something incredible. The level of depth, detail, and passion that has gone into every area of the game is to be commended. 12 classes with 46 multi-subclasses with multiple class combinations as well, taking and inspired from D&D. Hundreds of hours of dialogue, voice characters, and there's so much in this game. They are really trying to redefine the RPG genre. All of these things have been carefully considered by Larian and brought up best thanks to their talented team of developers and also to the community of players that have provided feedback over the early access launch. To give into a little bit of hype for the moment, I'll say that this game is going to be Game of the Year and most certainly one of the games of the decade for many RPG players. And I, for one, I'm incredibly excited to jump in and play, even if I only have a limited time before I go away on holiday. Baldur's Gate 3 has a huge significance for RPG fans, but there is one huge problem that Larian has also said that Baldur's Gate is going to run into, and that is, how do they market the game? This game is huge, it's quite daunting, and I want to explore that problem and how Larian could fix this. I've gone backwards and forwards on this topic on how Baldur's Gate 3 is setting a new bar and how it could be hard to get into, but I think the main key issue with Baldur's Gate has nothing to do with the game itself. It's actually how Larian market it to a wider audience to be able to make as much money as possible and also make new players experience this one-of-a-kind game. Baldur's Gate 3 from a non-RPG player's perspective is quite daunting. Hundreds of hours of story, lots of different choices that you can make, multiple classes that you can choose from. For an RPG player, this is exciting because it's deep, immersive, and will be the game that they want to play. But I worry this game is going to be missed by so many players, and I think that there's too much going on at times, which could be a problem. This isn't because I think the game should be simplified or made casual by any means. My main feeling stems from the game being harder to sell to a wider audience. Why does this scare me? This scares me because of how many more players could experience Baldur's Gate 3 and give it the flowers it deserves. This game will most likely be on many people's top 5s at the end of the year, but they're mainly avid RPG players or avid fans of these types of games. And even Larian themselves has said the marketing for the game has been tough because they don't know necessarily how to market the game. And after a recent bear-related incident, that surely has got a bunch of sales up. But the problem being is a lot of new players could buy into the game, seeing this really cool scene, and be quite shocked with the amount of choice. How many times have you seen people open up the Path of Exile skill tree for the first time and be absolutely compelled with too much choice and then immediately shut down the game? I think this is a problem that people will run into if they've never played this type of game before with Baldur's Gate. I've dived into many games before when they've had endless choice, and this gives a lot of people what I would like to call decision anxiety. They don't want to make the wrong decision at the start and then feel regretful all the way through in their playthrough, maybe even the first couple of hours, and they have to replay everything all over again. To expand on this a little bit further, we see this right at the start of the game with 12 subclasses to choose from, character selection with the options to multi-class later in the game, each of them having different playstyles, and most importantly, things will probably have effect on dialogue later on in the game. This immense choice can derail players. This is going to be something that they need to get over, and I don't really know how this can be addressed, mainly because Larian has made a fantastic game. Is this Larian's fault that the game is complicated and they want to go to great depths to provide and offer a really immersive RPG experience? No. But how can they market it? How can they market it to a wider audience that you would want to play this? If you only have a few hours a day to be able to game, what makes you get through a game and be willing to put down your hard-earned cash to be able to play this game. I'm posing this question because if you're an RPG fan and you're interested in the game, you're already sold, you're already going to be picking this up. If you've already played the early access, you're already going to be playing this game. You know what to expect. But I really want to pose this question on how would they sell this to a wider audience. I have not myself played the early access, so I don't know how good the onboarding process is. But if it's very good in the game and it gives you those paths and steps to be able to learn some of the complex systems in the game, then I think this is going to be great. This is the key thing that's going to keep people engaged. The other thing that I think is really going to help the game is getting it to as many platforms as they can. Currently, it's only on Steam. It is going to the PlayStation 5 on September 6th. And the reason why apparently it's not on the Xbox at the moment is because they're trying to find parity between the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X to be able to then release it. I do think this is going to alleviate a lot of those problems, because if this was just a PC only game, then I don't think it would sell as well as it could. And I'm making this point because this is the only issue that Baldur's Gate has. How do we get more people to play the game, and how do we reach a larger audience? I think that this game deserves to see a larger audience. If this is the only issue, that is a phenomenal statement to say, that going into a new game, we haven't got how do we sell this, what's bad about the game, what's understated. No, from what we have seen so far, everything seems to be pushing the boundaries when it comes to, as they say, redefining an RPG. Look at the marketing campaigns that you see for a lot of other AAA games, and I haven't really seen the same when it comes to Baldur's Gate. I've seen a couple of trailers here and there. I've seen some press things on gaming-specific websites, but there's a lot of people that I know talking about Diablo 4 because there's signs up in my local town or in towns that are all around when it comes to advertising. Now, yes, they may not have the same marketing budget, or they may not want to market it in the same way, but we are only a few days away from launch, and I've barely seen anything on the game apart from some stuff online from content creators, if you're around the different spaces like IGN, GameSpot, and all the different news channels as well, and then obviously with YouTube and people playing and stuff. It's only really there where you go and search it out that you are going to be able to find more information. And I would like to see it maybe a little bit more, maybe at launch. I don't know, but 100% I think this is going to be the biggest issue, which is why Baldur's Gate doesn't sell as well as it could do. Now, I could be completely wrong. We could go out and this could sell a couple of million copies, and I could be wrong. This video could be wrong, and this problem could be alleviated. But I'm not here to bash the game. I think this game deserves to have more people playing it. I do think this deserves to have more people experiencing this type of RPG for the first time. This is going to be my first real deep dive into an RPG since Divinity. I played maybe 10 or 15 hours of Divinity Original Sin, and I've played a bunch of RPGs since, and my gaming taste has changed a lot since I was a lot younger. This is going to be one of those games, and I think that it deserves as many people playing it as possible. But if this is an enjoyable video for you and you have anything to say on the topic, please let me know down in the comment section. If you want to play Baldur's Gate 3, please let me know, see what you're excited about. I'd love to engage in the comment section down below. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Jimbo, and I'll see you guys next time.